What's up, everybody? This is Josh back again with another video on Tech and Ish. Today's video is going to be about the Deuce Season 3, Episode 2. This episode just got released, I believe it was yesterday, and I was able to watch it today. To be honest with you, it was kind of boring to me. It did have its good parts. What's keeping me intrigued on this season is the fact that they're actually talking about the whole epidemic of AIDS coming in and how it basically is just killing everybody left and right. The porn industry has changed from season 1 and season 2. Season 1 and season 2, it kind of started off with like building a movie because basically, it was just being, prostitutes and stuff like that. But season 3, it's kind of like people shied away from the movies. They really don't care about that. Now it's basically like, just get down to it, basically, is what it is. The only thing that's really catching my attention is the fact that you're actually seeing a lot of people who are infected. I mean, you can actually tell just by looking at their face that they have that sickness. But what they don't know is the fact that nobody actually knows what's going on. They know that there is some type of disease that's killing them, but they don't know how to treat it. They don't really have tests that are out that they can actually tell you for certain, hey, you got the disease. So, doctors are basically just behind on everything because people just don't know about it. In my opinion, I think this episode was slow. I caught myself actually passing out a couple times because it was just kind of boring. But then once they started talking about about AIDS, that's when I finally woke up, because it caught my attention. You end up seeing this girl who is coming in and out from, you'll see her a couple times on season 1, season 2. And then on season 3, you end up seeing how she just looks. She just looks like, she basically looks dead. I mean, that the disease is taking over her really bad, but nobody knows what's going on with her. They take her to a hospital. She's thinking it's just bronchitis. And once she's in the hospital, they're trying to run tests on her, trying to figure out everything exactly that's wrong. And turns out she basically is gone. I'm assuming she's dead because it kind of gives off that vibe that she actually died, but it doesn't actually say. Now you got the Martino brothers, who are basically having some issues with their clubs. A lot of people are actually losing business. The porn industry is going down because now you can basically just videotape amateur porn at your house. And they actually have a couple who actually ends up videotaping themselves doing that, and they're selling it to people they know. Now that couple decides to try to include one of the Martino brothers, and he ends up seeing the video, and that actually catches his attention. So he's thinking that he might end up fucking with them, but you really don't know if he's actually going to end up doing it, because he's trying to sell it, but yet he's not really getting as much attention as he's wanting to. And he ends up finding out that he's actually having kind of like kiddie porn that's being distributed in his business. Basically, a lot of guys go over there, put in a couple tokens in there, and they start beating their meats to watching porn. But certain pedophiles actually know when that kiddie porn is actually going to come up. And one of the Martino brothers actually doesn't know that this is happening. So I think he's going to try to put a stop to it, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And it kind of just cuts off from there. I mean, you don't really know what he's going to do until the next episode. So I'm actually hoping he actually puts a stop to that, because that's something I don't even want to watch. You also see Elaine, or Candy. You also see that she's actually dating a new guy. And I actually thought she was going to hold back some of her truth. I thought she was going to tell him that she's a porn director. She actually used to star as a porn star as well. And she used to prostitute. I didn't think she was actually going to tell him all of that, but she basically just laid it out. And this guy, he doesn't even care. He's basically just trying to still be with her. He just wants to know basically her life. He wants to know what she's up to right now. It looks like he really doesn't care about what happened in the past, which I think is actually kind of nice of him for doing something like that. But I kind of feel like, within the episodes, they'll get into an argument, and then he'll end up throwing out that she was a prostitute, so she's below him. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I kind of think that might happen, because it's kind of predictable. And, shows like this, you end up seeing something like that happen. As I said, this episode was boring. I was falling asleep a couple times, dozing off, and it kind of was losing my attention. So, like I said, this video is going to be quick, and that's basically it. I mean, there's not really that much stuff that happened in this episode besides, the AIDS taking over New York City, people losing their jobs, people are losing business, and the porn industry is basically not the way it used to be. There is this one thing that I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, there's this one scene where Lori is kind of like, she's basically being videotaped. She's, doing her act, and I guess she's having sex with her hillbilly cousin. That's what they're trying to make it seem like. And he ends up taking like his bandana off, kind of shoves it in her mouth, and I was like, okay, maybe he's gonna try to do some rough stuff. Instead, this dude ends up peeling back a corn, and you see like cucumbers, you see a bunch of vegetables right there on the side. He ends up peeling back a corn, and I'm like, don't tell me this dude's about to stick it in her. And it kind of like, it gives off that motion that he did it, but she's like, nah, we ain't doing this. She ends up being pissed about that. She talks to her agent. Her agent's basically saying, you know what, you might as well do it. There's not really that much work for you out here. So this guy is a really good director. So do it that way. You don't seem like you're that type of person who's hard to work with. And she basically said that she's going to do it. She's just not going to stick it up that ass. So it doesn't say if it actually happened, but at the fact that that's kind of where the porn industry was going, makes me think like, what the hell were they thinking about? Or what type of fetishes were people into back in the day? I mean, I think that's pretty gross. You also see Lori that she's kind of like getting back to her old ways where she's starting to do drugs. She did go to rehab like 5 times, but that's basically not helping her out at all. You constantly see her kind of like just snorting up cocaine, and she actually ended up smashing a drug dealer at the end of episode 1 of season 3. At the very end, you end up seeing her smashing a guy, and I'm assuming it's probably just for drugs. So I think she's slowly going back to her old ways where she's going to start sleeping with people for money. I think that's where her story's going to end off, but I don't know. So like I said, this video is going to be short. There's really not that much that happened besides what I just mentioned. I would think that that's probably like the main points. Now, this is on season 3 of The Deuce. This is actually going to be their last season, and it didn't get canceled. It seems like they're just going to end it after season 3. So keep in tune to my channel, and I'll definitely keep you up to date on this season and other episodes as well. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know how I'm doing, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.